Hi guys, my name is Dylan and today we are back to another sharing series. This is something special, alright? This is the first time I received such a, I would say an email full of context, and it may be confusing for some of y'all because the questions, it's all interacting here and there. Okay, so hear me out. And of course I'll make this sender anonymous. Okay, so here's the email. Dear Dylan, I hope this message finds you in great spirits. To provide some context, I'm currently at my late 40s, Singaporean, working in the interior designing firm in Singapore with a gross monthly income of around 4.3k. My wife, a Malaysian, right, a PR in Singapore, works in the beauty industry and earns around 3.5k without any loans and financial obligations. Okay, I solely own a 4-bedroom HDB using my CPF to pay, and I rent out 2 rooms, generating 2k Sing dollar rental per month, and typically I earn at least 1.5k from rental income. We are undecided about whether to have children or not. My personal expenses, they include household around 1.8k Sing dollar and car loan around 1.4k Sing dollar. Okay, so here's the main part already. We recently purchased a cluster house in Botanic for around 1.41 million. After discount, it's around 1.27 under a joint name housing loan application with an interest rate of 3.9%. The monthly installment is around 5.9k for 31 years, which my wife and I share equally. Then that comes to around 920 Sing dollar each. Okay, so this is the question. First, the unit we purchased is a Bumi release lot, and we have yet to sign the SPA, only signed the bank loan, okay, from Maybank. We applied for the loan and the exchange rate was SGD1 equals to 3.45 ringgit Malaysia, and is currently hovering around 3.2. Does this mean I could sell the property after signing the SPA if I sold at the same price, meaning the 1.27 million, so at the net price, could I profit from the exchange rate, an estimated amount of near to around 28,000 Sing dollar? Also, since I will be selling at the same purchase price, would I avoid RPGT, which is real property gain tax? This of course assume that I find a willing buyer. Second question, after watching some of your property videos, thank you, I noticed a strong demand in Malaysia's property sector, often driven by temporary need for space. And I'm considering investing in Malaysia's property to generate rental income as part of my retirement plan. I understand that finding undervalued properties is crucial. Could you elaborate on how to find this undervalued property? And I think you mentioned about auction, but I'm very new in the property investment scene. Buying sub-sales, I must buy from distressed owner. How do I find them? Bulk purchase club, how, and I believe there will be a fees involved to join this club. The third question, we are considering purchasing a service apartment in Botanic. So they have now secured a loan at Botanic for a cluster house and planning to buy a service apartment in Botanic as well, with the SPA price of under 400,000 for investment purposes. Our plan is to rent it out to students from EduCity given its proximity. Do you think this is a viable strategy, as some investors advise against investing in Johor Bahru? We are more cautious investors, preferring steady and manageable growth over aggressive risk-taking. The cluster house purchase in Botanic is part of our forced saving strategy. In 20 to 25 years, we may sell this property and use the capital appreciation for future medical needs. Our plan would then be either to move into the service apartment that we plan to buy or return to the HDB in Singapore. Does this seem like a practical strategy? Thank you for your time and I look forward to your insights. Best regards, V. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for sending in this email. It's a very full of context email, which I feel that the question is, it's touching on Forex, it's touching on retirement, investment, forced savings, everything. I love this email. Thank you so much, V, for sending in. Right. So to summarize, right, basically V and his wife is working in Singapore. V, a Singaporean, and wife is a Malaysian Singapore PR. Okay, their gross joint income is near to around 9k plus ish. In a way, he don't have any much loan because his HDB, he is paying repayment, but then his rental is covering everything. And for his wife, she doesn't have any loans and whatsoever, right? So the first question, okay, he bought a house in Botanic. The SPA price is 1.4 million. The net price is 1.27, okay? So he's asking if I buy now, and at that time, I believe, because you have a SPA price and net price, remember I always say SPA is only the bank and government see one. Net price is you and a developer and a lawyer know one, because they are giving under table discounts, basically rebates, right? What we call them. Okay, so I can see from here, I don't think that V paid any down payment, maybe some booking fees or maybe a little bit of down payment or legal fees, right, to obtain a house in Malaysia. And at that time, SGD 1 equals to 3.45. Now it's hovering around 3.2. So he said that if I were to calculate, I sell back at the net price around 1.27, could I gain profit, which is around 30k Sing dollar? Yes, you can, but there are a lot of fees that you didn't count in. The first thing that I also ask, are you in need of this 30k Sing dollar? Because if I don't understand, like in property, sometimes in Malaysia, it's quite difficult to have a gain, right? But then I myself believe Botanic will be better, will capital appreciate. And if for you, you believe the same, if you think that it will capital appreciate, why sell now? Just because of the Forex gain. And 30k Sing dollar, you haven't included a lot of things. You haven't included something what we call the MOT, meaning to say, after the project has been VP, or in Singapore terms, TOP, right? When you get the keys, you have to do this memorandum of transfer, basically transferring the title from developer to you. And with the SPA price of around 1.4 million, it's around 40 plus thousand. If not mistaken, there is a calculator you can check, and that adds into your cost already. Okay, your profit is around 100,000 Malaysian ringgit. You minus 40, you left 60,000. Okay, not to mention, you want to sell it off, you need agent to help you sell, which is around 2% commission. So it's around 24,000 easy calculation. So for 60,000 ringgit Malaysia left, you minus 24, you are left with around 36,000 ringgit. So then this of course haven't include some of the other things, like maybe you have legal fees for the MOT and everything, right? All that you have to price in. So the first thing is, I would say it's a big no actually to sell off, because there are a lot of fees that you haven't priced in. And if you have priced in, right, suddenly then that 30 plus thousand, it's really not significant compared to the 100,000 that you mentioned earlier. Okay, but I like the fact that you notice about this ringgit strengthening and and the difference, because it's a very good way of understanding how the market is, and it's sort of like a hedging tool in a sense. So a lot of people say last time when Singapore SGD is going up, right, a lot of people then question, why do I buy Malaysia property when overall ringgit is dropping, the economy is not so good? Yeah, this is when those who believe in Malaysia's property, right, when they bought that time, now everything that capital appreciate from the bad times to the better to the good times. The second thing is Forex gain as well. So that's a very good thing that you mentioned, right? And then you asked about RPGT. Would I avoid paying? Yes, you will, because RPGT follows your SPA price. It doesn't follow net price. So remember, net price is only you, lawyer, and developer know. For SPA price, is only the bank and government knows. Okay. Okay, so this is one thing. And then one more thing to mention, if you were to sell your cluster house at the net price that I can buy from developer, the thing is, why would I want to buy from you? Because if I were to buy from developer, if there is still stock, basically I can do this, I have some partial, I can get free legal fees, I have partial furnishings, maybe I have freebies, vouchers, whatsoever. You have a lot of benefit. But if I were to buy the same net price from you, what do I get? Right? That is the main thing that I'll be thinking, because unless your price that you sell is below the net price that you are buying, then it makes sense. But if developers still have stock, they will definitely be at the upper hand for you to sell at the same price. Okay, and so that's one thing to take note. Unless you say developer has no more unit and they will not be launching any more projects in Botanic, then I would say, okay, then you sell at a net price or maybe even higher, it's also possible. But I think for Eco-Botanic, there are still few pieces of land there, if not mistaken. It's still very barren land. So I think there will be more supply coming forward. All right. So the next question, basically you ask, he realized that Malaysia's rental demand is very strong, and then he's considering to buy Malaysia's property for rental income as retirement plan. Okay. So he wants to know about undervalued property and how to find. Okay. So the first thing that you mentioned about auction, right? Yes. But auction, I would say, is very scary. It's because, first of all, I totally believe in auction. Don't get me wrong. It's just that a lot of people, they get over their head when it comes to auction. Because all the auction pricing that you see on listings and maybe Facebook ads, right? It's saying the reserve price, or say the start of the bidding price. Example, if market is selling at 700,000, the bidding price, example, it can go up to 500,000. Suddenly you feel, wow, if I were to buy this, I earn 200,000. Yes, but then a lot of bidders will come in as well. So some of them, when they bid, right, most of the time, right, they get over their head and they buy the price, right, it's almost around sub-sales price. There are so many of my friends, right, that kena the same thing, that met with the same thing. They check, how come almost the same one? Because they get over their head when it's bidding, because very short one, they click only, right? So this is one thing that is very dangerous about auction. You have to be very disciplined. The second thing about sub-sales, distressed owners, right, normally happens in condos, which unfortunately last time when they threw a lot of rebate, then I use zero down payment to buy a lot of cashback. It do happens in those, so we can find those. That's first thing. Or if you want something more legitimate in terms of rental income and everything, right, you can aim for expat-oriented locations. Mont Kiara, Bangsa South, Bangsa, KLCC, Desa Park, all of these locations. Because last time when it's very easy for buyers, expats to buy a house in Malaysia very long time ago. And then now if they were to migrate out of Malaysia, they want to move to other places to stay, they will do this fire sales thingy because they want to move out already. So you can aim for those. But then if you were to aim for those, you need to have a very strong contact on sub-sales agent around that area, especially those experienced ones, because they can help you. It won't be sitting there, telling what the product, right? It won't be actively advertising the product of the undervalued property. It won't be actively advertising. Oh, come and buy. No, normally it's within the community itself. We're gonna support already if it's a good deal. So you need to find a very strong sub-sales agent in that location that you're interested. The third thing that you mentioned is bulk purchase. Yes, bulk purchase club, as far as I know, whichever that you join, right, there are fees involved. This is basically to filter the quality of the tenant, because everyone can go in to check the bulk purchase deal, right, and then declare to the previous owners who bought the same condo what do you think the previous owner will do, right? So it's not that fair. They are trying to keep it in a very discreet manner. All right. The third question that you ask, so service apartment investment, basically is under 400,000 for investment. You're going to plan to rent to student. I would think if you want to rent to student only, it's not a good choice, because in KL, we have, in Subang, there is one university that is very popular. Then because of this university brings in a lot of students internationally and locally, right? Then a lot of projects and landed properties over there, suddenly they do this room partition, or the nicer word is co-living, right? They do co-living, room partition, 10 plus people stay in one landed house or one small condo, right? There are things that like this happen. Suddenly, this university then move to other locations for expansion. They want to expand. Then this property, all this property here, easily their business are cut. The profit is cut by around 50% or 60% even, because that's the only target client that they are aiming, their target tenant. It's only students. Yes, the demand is there, the price was there, it's high ROI, but there is no continuation, there is no stability. In investment, right, for properties, I always like to aim for multiple tenant one. Meaning to say, I can aim for students, office workers, Airbnb, co-living. There are so many methods. And one more thing that I add on is, I like to exceed my plan with multiple strategy also. I can sell to own stay buyers, I can sell to investors, if possible also can sell as a trophy home, right? So this is of course if the property suits lah. Okay, so the more choices you have on hand, the better it is as an investment. Okay, so it's more diversified. But then after looking at your email again, you said that this service apartment can be for your retirement. Then suddenly this plan is quite okay because it's for your retirement home anyway. But then the question, if the rental of your service apartment in Eco Botanic is very good, would you want to stay there with such bustling, all students all staying next to you? You know, are you okay with that? You have to ask yourself if it's too good. If it's not good, then would you feel that it's a waste of money because that 400,000 maybe you can invest in other locations? So your requirement here is somewhat like the 5 methods that I always talk about, which is it must be near an office, near shopping mall if possible, okay, have greeneries, pedestrian friendliness, and of course connectivity. It's something like this. This is the planning that I see from my perspective. So if it fits the 5 points, it's a perfect goal. But if it only fits around 3, or maybe 2 or 1, then it's something that you have to consider whether what is your ultimate goal. Okay, and if it's too good of a rental, are you okay with just moving back to Singapore HDB? So that's one thing that I foresee. Like there are some of the questions. So these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. And then for the cluster house, you say that it's for your medical, you aim for capital appreciation, for your medical needs. So I totally agree with that because I think for landed properties in that area, it's gonna boom up in terms of pricing because it's a landed anyway. So to sum up, I think first of all, V, you did a very great job. It's super good that you have such portfolios, and I really envy you. Your rental for your HDB in Singapore, right, is basically getting around net near to around 5,000 ringgit. So it's very envious of me. To one property you can get around 5k extra. So this is something that Malaysians, I think we don't have this kind of market for now. But there are other different ways of investing in Malaysia. And I think that's all for this email. And thank you so much, V, for sending in. And for those of y'all who have any questions they want to ask, you can DM me, comment in YouTube, or straight away email me if it's this long of a context, right? Just straight away email me. So do like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye. 到最后自己做。